Now here at 136 pounds, wearing black trunks, comes from New York. This is a 6-round lightweight fight. Miguel Dominguez. Miguel Dominguez. His opponent weighs 132 1/2 pounds, wearing black trunks with a red stripe. From New York, New York, Papo Figueroa. Figueroa.
Okay, Papo Figueroa comes in with a record of 2-3-1. 27 years old. He's on the right, and on the left is Miguel Dominguez, who's 25 years old, and 6-1 record. Not a bad-looking record. And this fight's scheduled for 6 rounds.
Sam, I think the thing we can look for right away is Mike Dominguez stands 5'9", Papo Figueroa 5'7". Dominguez has long arms. He's got the longer reach. He's an exceptional boxer, doesn't have much power, and because of the lack of that power, over the years he's really learned how to box, and he uses the ring very well. And of course here in the third corner, we got a big ring, 20 feet inside the ropes. And as an amateur, Mike Dominguez had a 76-12 record against some of the top lightweights around.
Dominguez straight up and down.
Between the two of them, Papo Figueroa does a lot more bobbing and weaving side to side. As you just mentioned, you're going to notice a lot of just straight up fighting from Mike Dominguez. An exceptional jab and a right hand behind it. He never really has been one to go to the body much. Let's see if he said he was going to do more body punching. Let's see if he does.
The left hook scored for Papo Figueroa.
The thing that I have to wonder about Mike Dominguez is he has been a sparring partner for, listen to these names, Alexis Arguello, Aaron Pryor, Hector Camacho, Roberto Duran, Boom Boom Mancini, Saul Mamby. Great, he's gotten all that good work, but the thing is you start to develop what we call a sparring partner mentality. When you're always the underdog, when you're the second guy in there, they never think you're going to do anything. So you start to get a losing attitude, and I wonder, does he have a losing attitude? I think we'll find out tonight.
Figueroa has been able to score from long range. Figueroa in the black trunks with the red stripe, and the shorter of the two boxers. Now that jab starting to score for Dominguez. Really not stepping in with that right hand.
Remember, these gentlemen are using thumbless gloves. Only in the main events, 10 rounders in New York, will they use the gloves with the thumbs. Anything less, thumbless. The referee happens to be a man by the name of Bill Tate, a man who turned on Jerry Cooney and his managers, Rappaport and Jones, to Jerry Cooney. Said, there's a good prospect. You ought to take a look at him. They looked at him, and look what they've done with Jerry Cooney.
Dominguez not scoring that last flurry. That time he got the jab in. We've got half a minute to go in round one. Scheduled 6-round lightweight bout. Dominguez's jab looks real good, Randy, but he seems to leave himself open for those looping punches. Final seconds of round one. And you're watching professional boxing on Madison Square Garden Cablevision. Papo Figueroa. And again, see Dominguez throws the jab nicely, but doesn't really step in with that right hand. Got tagged with a right hand by Figueroa, and a left hook by Figueroa.
Between the two of them, Papo Figueroa is a combination puncher. And that's all good pros. Should set everything up with the jab and then start working the combination. 4 punches, 2, 3, 4, 5 at a time. And you'll see Figueroa do that tonight.
Dominguez really getting tagged in this round thus far.
Mike has always had a pretty good defense, and so far tonight, I don't think he looks sharp at all. The right hand, he's pushing. You just saw him do it. He slapped with it there. Nothing behind the right hand at all.
Figueroa looks very confident in this second round. And again, Dominguez getting caught coming in. The right hand. There's a good left hook by Dominguez, and he follows up nicely.
That is his best weapon, that left hand. He went from a jab, he turned it into an uppercut, and then went with the hook with it. 3 punches in a row. Very nice professional move by Mike Dominguez. As an amateur, Papo Figueroa had an amateur record, 35-3. He fought some down in Puerto Rico, mostly here in New York, though, but in his record, as in Dominguez, a lot of top amateurs fought him. So he didn't just build his record on turkeys as an amateur. He's been in there with some of the best.
Past the midway point of round 2.
One thing that Dominguez is doing wrong, he's standing right in front of Figueroa. He's not moving the head. He's not moving the shoulders. He's walking straight in. Very easy target for a jab.
Looping right hand scores for Papo Figueroa. Dominguez coming back. Really most effective when he's sticking that jab in the face of Figueroa.
Well, Papo Figueroa started the round fast. He's landing a lot of shots, a lot of combinations. And at this point, the round is close.
Yeah, Dominguez has come back nicely. Half a minute to go in round 2.
The thing I still don't like is Dominguez's right hand. It does not look good tonight. Usually he has a snappy right hand. He turns it over. It's crisp. Tonight he appears to be struggling with it.
Jab does look good, though. Dominguez got to keep throwing it. Following up. Figueroa spins out of trouble as we come down to the final seconds of the second round. And we'll be right back. Ringside, live at Madison Square Garden's Felt Forum, our opening bout of the night. Michael Dominguez, the stand-up fighter in the black trunks, all black. And Papo Figueroa in the black trunks with the red stripe. This is round 3, lightweights. I like the way Dominguez came on in that latter half of the second round, Randy.
I'm not sure it was enough to win the round. It was a very close round, but at this point, had you given the round to Mike Dominguez, I thought that Papo Figueroa won the first round. On my scorecard, could be an even fight.
Again, Dominguez, not much on that right hand, but that jab has been very effective.
I'm very surprised at Dominguez. He outreaches his man. He's taller than him by 2 inches, and yet he's getting hit with a lot of straight punches when he shouldn't be.
I think that's part of what you said, not moving, not bobbing and weaving too much.
When you've got the reach on a guy, unless you have devastating power, if you're just an average, a good boxer with little power, use that speed, use that reach. He's not.
Scheduled for 6 rounds. The jab continues to be crisp for Mike Dominguez. Dominguez, 25 years old, 6-1 record.
You notice where he threw that left hook from, and again, just cranked it up. One of those from the other side of the arena shots. What Papo should have done is, now I wonder if Papo has noticed that and says, okay, the next time I see him crank that arm up, I'm dropping a right hand on him.
I think the fighter has really opened up with any big flurries. Good exchange of jab and a nice right hand by Papo Figueroa.
There's what we've been talking about. 2 straight up, not moving ahead. He took that punch flush when he could have easily slipped underneath it or rolled away with it, but he took it flush on the left cheek.
Past the midway point of the 3rd round. Dominguez now starting to throw punches and flurries, but didn't really score. From Madison Square Garden's Felt Forum, this is professional boxing. There's a slapping left hook by Figueroa. Caught Dominguez moving back. Now it seems like Dominguez is waking up a little bit.
One thing you should never do as a fighter, amateur or pro, if the guy comes, once you touch the gloves at the start of the fight, do not touch the other man's gloves. The other guy can fake you out and jump in with a shot. I've seen it done dozens of times.
Dominguez putting on some pressure here as he's got Figueroa backing up.
Boy, if I was in the corner of either one of these guys, I'd say, hey, guys, this is not a 15-round spectacular. You got 6 rounds to win this. It's up for grabs. Do it.
Dominguez seems to be doing his best fighting after he gets nailed.
I noticed one thing. When they both came into the ring, they were dry. From now on, let's look at the fighters, see if they're dry. I like a fighter to warm up in the dressing room plenty, 15, 20, 25 minutes before, come in wet. Mike Weaver back in December came in cold as can be. Michael Dokes, on the other hand, was soaking wet. 1 round went the fight. Controversial, of course, but both these guys were dry as could be when they came into the ring. I think just now they're getting warmed up.
We'll see how Weaver comes in next week when they meet again.
I think he learned a lesson. We'll see. In Mike Dominguez's last fight, which was here in New York, he fought Carlos Carrasquillo back in February, won a 6-round decision, looked brilliant in the fight. Sticking, moving, jabbing, throwing combinations. Tonight, he is struggling. A lot of posing by both guys. They're standing in front of each other, not letting the punches fly.
Figueroa has really slowed down. He could have taken advantage early on and opened up a little bit. Now he's coming out. Because he seemed to have Dominguez hesitating and concerned about his punching power. And now Dominguez is taking control of the pace of the fight at any rate. See what Figueroa does here. 20 seconds to go in the 4th round. Lightweight action continues at Madison Square Garden's 12th Forum. In just a minute, we've got a good night of boxing ahead. And more of this bout to come.
On the next edition of USA's Friday Night Boxing, Ricky Machine Gun Wallace tries to blast undefeated featherweight knockout artist Richard Savage. This and more heavy leather is in store. Live from Miami on Friday Night Boxing, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, June 10th.
He finds himself wide open for that right hand from Papo Figueroa.
Dominguez threw 4 shots that time, and Papo Figueroa missed every one of them. As Figueroa slid and slipped and ducked under every one of them. Blocked one of them.
At this point, Randy, I see this fight as basically an even fight, and the last 2 rounds could decide it.
They are close rounds, though I have Papo Figueroa winning it 3 rounds to 1.
Figueroa in the black trunks with the red stripe. He's the shorter of the 2 fighters. His best weapon has been the right hand. Dominguez scored with a right that time.
Stop.
Caution from the referee for pushing by Mike Dominguez.
What he did was what Muhammad Ali used to do so many times. He got warned for it later in his career all the time, every fight. He'd use his weight, he'd lean down on
I keep expecting Dominguez to really open up and do something and come on, and he's not doing anything.
So do I. He's finally starting to use the legs a little bit more, dancing side to side, but he's not throwing any punches. There we go. Now, work. They're screaming that in the corner. Work.
Nothing happening. Figueroa doing a good job of slipping. Final seconds, round 5, professional boxing coming to you from Madison Square Garden's Belt Forum. The one thing, though, is that while we've been talking about Dominguez not really doing all that much, Figueroa hasn't done that much either.
No, I mean, he hasn't exactly been a fireball in there either. I've got this fight scored 3 rounds to 2 for Papo Figueroa. It could just as well be the other way around. This is a very important round.
I've scored it even. 2-2 and 1 even.
There we go.
The official scoring done by 3 judges at ringside. Referee does not score the fight. Neither fighter has taken charge of this fight. Neither one has been hurt, and no knockdowns. Figueroa doing a good job of getting in there despite the reach advantage of Dominguez.
And when Dominguez a few moments ago threw his right hand, he threw the left hand and he threw right hand behind it, he came in with his chin way up in the air. Had Figueroa come back with a left hook, he might have Dominguez laying on the canvas right now. Papo Figueroa realizes that whenever Dominguez stands in front of him, he does nothing. So what Figueroa is doing is putting out that left jab and landing it many times.
Past the midway point of round 6. Papo Figueroa, he countered well with that right hand.
Once again, because Dominguez just standing there, no movement. But he's been throwing punches, and he's been landing. Figueroa's been missing a lot. The right and the left just fell short by Figueroa.
Under half a minute to go in the fight.
They've definitely thrown a lot of punches tonight, and they've missed more than they've landed, both of them.
Combination scoring for Dominguez, not heavy combination, but certainly scoring some points. And at this stage of the fight, the final seconds, points is what each fighter needs.
Well, there we are.
All right. They go back to the opposite corners, congratulating the opposition corners. And now they await the decision. Mike Dominguez bowing to the crowd. Little nod to you, Randy. We've got the decision. Carl Martin will let us know.
The winner, Miguel Dominguez.
It's Dominguez. So, Mike Dominguez now 7